Alright, so DCDL Season 4 happened ages ago, but it was incredible, so I wanted to make a video on it here. First of all, please make sure to like and subscribe. I would bring up the stats of how many of you are subscribed, but I don't make videos anymore, so I don't have that stat. Instead, I'll move on to this video's sponsors, Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. Anyway, cue the intro. So let's start with the most reasonable place to start, the draft. My team is on the screen currently, and as you can see it was Mega Aerodactyl, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Rillaboom, Zygarde 10%, Gardevoir, Skuntank, Dusknoir, Heatran, Mamoswine, Heliolisk Fortress, and Torracat. I do have a weird habit of taking second stage starter Pokemon, it seems. We did have power rankings, and I finished 12th out of 16. So it's not looking great for me, but we'll give it a go. Review is on the screen if you want to pause it and read it, but to summarize, offense good, defense bad. So let's hop into week 1, where I fight Hooded Zack. And I assumed I'd win this one pretty easily, because Zack hasn't done a draft league before, and his team was, well, subpar to say the least. He came 15th in power rankings, so it was looking pretty good for me. In summary, I got fucked. Like, it wasn't even close. I stood no chance, and it was a shock defeat, which made me a bit pessimistic about the rest of the season. I did pull off a Scarf Destiny Bond on Gardevoir though, which was a little bit cool, but it clearly was not a very exciting match. Week 2 didn't go quite as bad as week 1. I fought Z-Man, and I think that was the first time we fought, but we did face again in other leagues. I won this one 3-0, but if his Hawlucha OHKO'd my Gardevoir, I would have lost pretty embarrassingly. I didn't expect to win this one, really, because morale was low after last week, but it was a nice surprise in the end. Okay, so on to week 3, I played La La Llama, and by this point he was 2-0 with plus 11 differential, so I didn't really expect to win this match, and I was right, I lost. But it was only a 2-0 loss, so I'll take that, I think. Towards the end, I looked like I might have clutched it, but I got pretty hard outplayed when Deoxys used Recover. Honestly, it was a bad switch on my end, but that's okay. So, in week 4, I was really looking for a win against Chris to put my record even, and that didn't exactly go to plan, as I lost 6-0 in one of the worst games I've ever played. To be honest, this game was over turn 5, where I probably made the worst play of my career, letting Aerodactyl die to a Rotom that I didn't consider could be scarfed. My opponent wasn't nice enough to let me blame it on hacks, but let's be real, I would have lost abysmally anyway. This is what the league table looked like after week 4, so halfway through, and it's not looking great for me in second to last place. At this point in the league, I was desperate for a win, because my chances of making playoffs looked incredibly slim. I fought Curse, and I was pleasantly surprised. Just kidding, I got fucked again. I mean, it was only a 2-0 loss, but not the result I was looking for at all. Here's an update of the league tables, and I'm still in second last, so it looked like I wasn't going to have any chance of qualifying for playoffs. At this point, I was so fed up, I almost dropped the league. I'll put some screenshots of my messages on screen now, just so you can see how upset I was, but it is pretty funny to look back on. To qualify for playoffs, I need to win 3 games in a row with good differential, and the right people need to lose their matches to even give me a chance of qualifying. Week 6 was when I had a match against Hef, which I didn't think I was going to win, because he was in 6th and I was in 15th. To my surprise, I won. It was a 2-0 win, so not the big differential I needed, but it's a start to say the least. The match wasn't particularly exciting, but I almost got swept by the ugliest pseudo-legendary ever created, so that was a fun experience. Also, I missed a stone edge that I thought lost me the game. But maybe the game actually was exciting, I take it back. At the end, it looked like both of us were trying to lose by how bad we were playing. Anyway, that puts me in 14th place, so I was slowly climbing back up the league. Time for week 7, and I was playing the coach in last place, Josh, so I didn't have a lot to worry about. A good differential would go a long way here, but it was actually a much closer match than I anticipated. If I lost this, I was out of the league, and after missing 2 poltergeists in a row, it was looking like luck wasn't on my side. And also, his Mega Lopunny got a 6.3% roll on my Gardevoir, which was really sad to watch. In the end, I managed to clutch it with a 1-0 victory after Rillaboom was left alive on only 17%, which didn't seem like it'd be enough to take me to playoffs. This is what the table looked like after week 7. I was in 13th with 1 week to go, so it doesn't exactly look good, but it is still possible. In the final week, I fought Warrior, and if I didn't beat her 5-0 or higher, it was over for sure. I luckily had a good matchup this week, so I won 5-0 exactly, and my Urshifu lived on 2%, so if one of Warrior's Mons got a little bit of a higher roll earlier on in the match, the whole season would have been over for me. In the end, I managed to finish joint 8th, and the top 8 make playoffs. So to qualify for playoffs, I need to win one final match, and lucky for me, my opponent is absolutely awful at the game. Okay, so I'm fighting Matisserie, and it's fun fact time. This is my 8th game against him at this point in time, and the record of our matches was 4-3 in his favour, so this was a very important game for 2 reasons. Also, if this works out for me, I would have to fight someone with a 4-0 record on me, so my hopes of winning this league are not very high. So into the actual match now. I was off to a pretty bad start when he had a hard read on my switch into Heliolisk, so I was down just 5 Pokemon to 6. I want to give a shout out to Matisserie real quick for naming Amoonguss Big Fungus, so good job there. Eventually, in unexciting ways, our Pokemon seemed to drop off slowly until it evened up to 4 left each. But after some questionable plays by my opponent, Heatran took out 2 in a row, putting me at a 4-2 advantage. After Heatran died, it was easy enough for Rillaboom to get me a 3-0 win that sent me straight into playoffs. Okay, so after almost quitting the league entirely, I got to the first round of playoffs where it seemed almost impossible for me to win. After 1,000 mocks from Matisserie, the game started. I got off to a good start with some early hacks from Fortress, landing a paralysis with Body Slam, which was completely skill based. If you ask Colin, that was pretty significant, but in my opinion he could have worked around it. Too bad he sucks, am I right? Towards the end, it was becoming increasingly clear that Heatran was going to clean up his team and win it for me, but it only got 1 kill in the end. Anyway, I got a completely unexpected 3-0 win this round, which is pretty cool if you ask me, and it was also my first ever win against Colin. It's time for semi-finals now, and I was up against Chris, again. The guy who beat me 6-0 in the main season. Again, this is not exactly looking good for me. I was in a similar situation back in Season 3 where I faced Chris in semi-finals, and I lost 5-0. Anyway, he beats me pretty badly a lot of the time, but I did take a game 5-0 in Power Plant Season 1. Anyway, back to DCDL. Pretty early on in this game, a massive threat in the form of Mega Venusaur was taken out, so I was off to a good start yet again. And I also wasn't going to be 6-0 this time. After I decided to roll the dice by taking a close combat on Mamoswine, the game was even at 4-4 due to Life Orb damage. From this point, it could not have gone better. Zygarde ate its Rosalie Berry, allowing it to take a hit from Copperaja, which it then takes out. It then takes out Tapu Koko because it missed Play Rough, and then Tornadus gets taken out too. So we're down to a 4-1 in my favour, and after my Zygarde dies, his Goodra dies to a Toxic, winning me the game 3-0. So somehow, I made it to finals, and this is the match it all comes down to. This match is another rematch from the earlier season, this time from my week 1 opponent, Hooded Zach. In case you forgot, last time I expected to win easily, then lost horribly, so I had to do a ton of prep to make sure this match didn't go the same way. Shout out to Matisserie again, by the way, for the help. Also, I'm going to be using this time to call out Colin, who refused to help me prep because he lost me in playoffs, so nice job, Colin. Anyway, so time to talk about this match. So it was incredibly long, 116 turns to be exact, and we were playing for a whole hour. I was physically shaking the whole time due to my nerves, since this is my first ever finals, unless you count an LC league. I'd love to go through the events of this match, but it was honestly so long that I'm starting to regret making this video. But I'm already so far in, so here it goes. Okay, I immediately get a knockoff on Chansey, which was crucial, because, you know, all my homies hate Chansey. It got revealed that his second annoying normal type Stormon, Porygon 2, has Thunder Wave, which sucks, but I have a bulky Heal Bell Gardevoir to take care of that. Gardevoir is actually a lifesaver because without Heal Bell to cure paralysis and burns, I would have stood absolutely no chance, so at least it gave me a small chance to win. I'm going to be honest, this game was so boring. For the first 60 turns, it was just the two of us chipping away at each other while setting up and removing stealth rocks. I finally got the first kill on turn 68 when my Heliolisk took out Dragapult, but we are far from done. Okay, so by turn 89, we're back at the classic 4-4 situation after Mamoswine, Forretress, and Jellicent were taken out. It looks like we're actually starting to make progress, finally. I'm sure it is more exciting in the moment, but my god, this is taking forever. It's like watching EVO 2018 Smash 4 Grand Finals. Maybe having people named Zach involved makes games take longer. Anyway, on turn 97, the fat fuck Chansey finally dies after causing me too much brain damage. After my Chople Berry on Heatran activated, I took out Zach's Kartana, which put me in a great position where my co-admins were going nutty in the chat. If you want to know how the next 10 turns go, it's just me using Flamethrower and Zach using Recover on Porygon 2. Turn 112 and Zach is down to just his Porygon 2 after Heliolisk takes out Moltres. There's no way he can come back at this point, but he is still spamming Recover. In the end, I finally won it. My lord, that was a long one. After taking psychological damage against a Chansey in Porygon 2, I finally did it. I finally claimed my first ever Draft League victory. I barely made it to playoffs and I almost quit along the way, but the 3 years of playing this game competitively has been worth it to lead up to the rush of dopamine that lasted around 10 seconds after Porygon 2 finally fainted. I had a full character arc this season, so I thought I'd share my journey with you, and if you're somehow still watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. All replays will be linked in the description, as well as a document for this season, so if you're interested, go check that out. Quick shout out to everyone in the league, particularly Matisse, who are basically running the whole thing despite having 3 admins. I actually really enjoyed writing this script, so expect more videos in the future. So, I'll see you next time then, I guess. Oh, closing thoughts. Imagine being an admin and not having one DCDL.